Now, some of you have said you wanted to see more about how this works. So basically, we started way back here. Got this polymer stock with a pump action Rossi 22. And basically, the only way I could get it with high vis sights was to order it with the polymer stuff. But I wanted the cowboy version, so I ordered all the wood stuff to replace the polymer stuff, which left me with the stock. Then I was sitting around with the revolver, and I thought, well, I need a revolver with the stock. So I made up all the paper, well, the flat cardboard, basically made a design, cut the plates, did the bending, welding, forming, and all that. Works just as it did in the real one, where it actually hooks behind the shield and rests on these screws. When we take it off, I'll show you what's up underneath. Basically loosen it up, take the catch out the bottom that actually is, just as it was. Then basically take this up, follow the hammer, comes off. I'm going to set this down for a second. All right. Up in here is basically what it's resting on this, the back side of the shield here, and on these hooks here. And this part basically is not touching, but putting it on and off. I noticed it was leaving the smallest amount of, like, the start of wear. So, my gun, my wear, kind of going to come with the territory. But anyway, that was the stock. I made it up. Then it comes to this. Okay. This, basically, we're going to sit here like this, right? This is technically the blast shield. It seals around the backside of the revolver, right? And it's supposed to keep the majority of it coming out. I might actually have to improve that a little bit by putting a secondary piece inside. But if you look here, this part right here is actually a metal plate welded inside of this cover, set back against the revolver barrel frame in the front, traps all that off. So basically what it's doing is it's forcing everything to come out this side. And I put a vent down there at the bottom, right? Which is here. And another forward vent there for anything that's just small debris and gases can come out this way. Hopefully between these and it being vented through here, actually puts the majority of the gases going out through the loading gate, right? But anyway, I'll show you more about that. Up front here, basically, there is a little bitty block. Let me do this. All right, there's a little bitty block right here. It's beveled to fit on top of the barrel and basically sit underneath this. And as you slide this up and down, it adjusts how close this is to the cylinder. So it doesn't drag on it, but yet it's close enough to do its job. All right? So that's basically its adjustment is through this block. This block. Right here, and this screw. You can, to keep tension, and if it's too high, too low, you move this back and forth, you're good to go, right? Basically, this front part, you unloosen it like this, right? He drops off, then you come back here, and right here is the keeper. It sits behind the barrel wedge and against the face of the blast shield inside, right? He looks like this. Just a little flat piece of spring steel with the tab, right? You got a hammer all the way back, slide action, basically somewhat to the middle. Then we're going to dump the little block out of the front of it, right here. As soon as we get it far enough forward, we get the little rubber block out. It's actually convertible top tack strip. Perfect for the difference between just a little bit too soft and just a little bit too hard, right? No scratchy, right? Then we're going to move this forward. Oh, let me show you this. Basically, it's using the loading lever cavity as part of its line up at the bottom, right? So we can keep that lower thing stiff, right? We're going to move this to halfway. I'm going to push this forward, right? We got to bring this up to... I ran over the gig at the front. Hang on. Come on back. Why you do that? You stuck. All right. We have to turn it over again. You need this to come back down. Yeah, like that. Now, flip it over. Get this puppy in front of the loading lever. Like that. Drop it down. Take it through here. Oh, I guess I gotta show it on film. Basically, you're pushing that in between underneath that loading latch right there, and then pushing the whole frame thing forward. As soon as I can get it to do it. Come on, pop forward. You take this off. Then you can basically take this and you can take this right out. All right. This is just back to being 1860 44 caliber Army model. Kind of cool, but you know. Anyway, here's where we're at. The slide action keeps the action bar moving. Not going to go too deep into that. But basically, this is the part that everybody's concerned about. See this gas seal right here? This rubber bit, this leading edge right here, not necessarily at the back, but this leading edge right here is like 1/16 of an inch off the side of the cylinder, right? And if you look right here, you can see my blast plate right there. That's fitting right up against the side of the revolver barrel. That's where the keeper goes through. And then when you put the wedge piece in place, it basically shuts that window, right? It also, well, actually, it comes through from this side. It shuts that window up against the revolver frame. All right. And then what does get by that is going to basically go through here or come through the loading window. All right. This was just that brace for the bayonet. The bayonet's like a thing just because it's a thing, you know, that needed to be done. It's right here. Basically, this hangs on the bottom of the loading lever catch. Let me pull this piece out. And then pulls it onto the barrel, right? And in doing so, this piece traps the front sight in the gap. And it's actually metal reinforced inside the rubber. And then that fits up in these notched little grooves in the bayonet piece. It sits in there like that. So when it's sitting over it, it's not actually touching the barrel. It's actually trapping the front sight in that upper groove right there, which keeps this from twisting back and forth. And as it's being held at onto the barrel, the slide action piece actually reinforces it, like so. So they're constantly working together with each other like that. But that's kind of what we got going on that. You guys are more than welcome to try to copy. I'm getting all kinds of things about all this is going to blow up in my face. Several people are concerned. Well, I understand that. I'm also not an idiot. I'm going to probably have a blast shield over my face when we first start trying this. You know, I'm probably going to do it as a shoot from the hip with a white t-shirt on kind of thing, you know, over the top of some really thick clothes just to see how much blowback that I actually am getting. You know, chances are the first time it goes off, my hand won't be in front of the cylinder. You know, I've seen the things where you blow up hot dogs from the escaping gases and all that. And yes, may or may not work. Y'all might want to watch me finish this and actually test it before y'all want to go ahead and make one and all. But, you know, just as added features, these two little bits right here, I've got actual pivots that fit in there so it can be turret mounted. I know that's ridiculous. It's about as ridiculous as a bayonet. But, you know, if we're going to throw in added features, there's no real saying that we shouldn't, right? So we're going to put it back in here, right? You got to basically draw the hammer back, move this to halfway back, get hold of it like this. Basically, you're putting it in like a holster. You basically run it through. You get it started like that. Then you have to come in here, and at the front, this has to be just kind of behind the sight gig there. It also helps. And then basically you're putting this through the little gap. This is so hard to do on film, it's crazy. Just like taking it apart. Right? So, hang on. Let me get this at the right spot. Do I got this the right way? Yeah, I got this the right way. All right. So, there's such a little gap right there. It's stupid. But, let's see if I can get it in the film. Once you get it to go over the loading lever catch, like that, right? And then we're going to take and spin the screw out. Just because I know this is going to make it easier. All right. So we're there. And then we're going to take this and we're going to bring it up over the end. All right. As soon as I get it in the right spot. Then as soon as we get here, we can flip this up and just hang him over the front. All right. Now we're going to pull this back into place where it's supposed to be. Okay. So now he's in there, and that piece is milled to absolutely fit without spreading it. You know? And then we're going to come here, like that blast shield thing, and we'll put the keeper in there. Which shuts that window and fits into that notch. All right. Now, because I've torn it apart enough times, take this thing back out to the front. I already know that the little wedge piece actually has to sit over that little dot right there. It's got to sit just underneath that dot. Second one. Basically, we're going to pull him back like this. We're going to trap him right there. I'm going to bring this up. Flip it over the top. Now, it's going to take a minute because I got to run that screw all the way in. But it actually fits in a divot at the front that keeps it in place. Like that. And we pull it up on there. Like so. You know? Right? Got the little block. He's right in the right spot because he's blocking off the hole. But we're going to double check back here. So we're going to basically move this forward. I'm going to make sure it's not scraping the cylinder. I'm going to move this to there. I'm going to look real close. Make sure it's not rubbing. It looks like it's right in the right spot. All right, can't give you dimensions, but my micrometer says it's right. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to drop it down into position, and we're going to do the test run. So he's right back into spot. Everything's like that. Now we take this and take where the hammer is, basically run this over it, follow the back side of the hammer till the hooks come up underneath the shield, rock it down on its screws, grab it around here, put the loading lever latch or the stock latch in place. Basically, you got to get your little weird ass fingers on there and then tighten up the wing nut. Make sure that's in the right spot. Yep, in the right spot. We turn this to a straight. Then we have the stock back on. So anyway, that's kind of a breakdown on how all that works. I'm truly counting on most of this, but you know, we got to do the backyard testing, you know, before I actually can claim this really works. But quite honestly, I don't really see why it wouldn't, even if I have to do a better gas seal back here or something to that effect. We'll work out the bugs as it goes, but, you know, at least you guys can see what I got going on. And maybe we can resolve a little bit of that. You shouldn't have your hand in front of the cylinder gap thing. I totally concept this. So, anyway, I will chat with you all on a different day. Peace.